Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday and welcome to Elegant Sentiments Today. I'm Sheryl Abernathy. I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and I'm here today with our weekly card share number 89. I've got products from Pinkfresh Studio and Lisa Horton Crafts to share with you this evening. So I hope that you will enjoy my little video and my project. So we'll go ahead and get started. I've got some Lisa Horton inks. Most of them are from they're matte blending inks. We've got some Color Shift. This one is Lagoon Punch. And I have one of the Swift Dry inks that I used. And this one is Coffee Bean. And then the Pick by Paula, I've got two of those. I've got Georgia Moss. These are matte blending inks as well. And Frida Cherry. And then I have from one of the limited editions. This one came out, I think, last year at Christmas. And it's a matte blending ink, Merry Mistletoe. So those are the inks that I'm going to be using. And then I have from Pinkfresh Studio, the Octagon Grid cover plate, and the Daisy Corner 3D embossing folder, and also the coordinating layering stencils. So these are the products that I'm going to be using for my project today. And I made a sample here to show you ahead of time. And I think I'm going to change this up a little bit. I like the white, but we're going to add a little more color to that for the actual project that we make today. So there's our starting point, and I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring in my tacky mat, move some of this out of the way. And then I've got a piece of white cardstock that I'm going to do my stenciling on. And there are, I think there's 8 stencils in this set, but it does go pretty quickly. So we'll bring these in. I usually have these out of the packaging before my live, but didn't get to that today. So this is the first stencil. This is, again, this is the Daisy Corner set of layering stencils, and it has the coordinating embossing folder. So we'll bring that in. And we're going to start, these are leaves. So for this layer, I'm going to use the Merry Mistletoe. So I'm just going to use a bigger brush here and take off some of that ink and just get a light coating of this color onto these leaves. I hope that your week is going well. And if it's not, your weekday is almost over. The weekend is almost here. So that is something to look forward to. So that is layer stencil number 1. Stencil number 2, we're going to come in with the stems. So I used, for the stems, I used Coffee Bean. And we'll go ahead and put those in. I wanted it dark, but not too dark, so I'm backing off a little bit on the ink and not just getting it super dark. Just wanted a color. I typically will color my stems the same color as my flowers, but for this one, I decided to just make them brown. Got a nice light brown here using that Coffee Bean Swift Dry ink. And it goes pretty quickly. Okay, and that is going to do it for this stencil. And we'll bring in stencil number 3. And this one starts the base of our daisies. So I'm going to, I want this to be a light color because I'll add more color later. So this is the Frida Cherry that I'm using here. And just getting a nice light coating of color onto the stencil. And I'm not worried about going outside of the stencil lines because I'm actually going to die cut this when I'm done. So we're just inking it up, not worrying if the ink is going beyond the stencil since my paper is bigger than the stencil. And that is stencil number 4. So no, that was 3. And now we'll add a little more color to our floral. And this is easy peasy coloring with this one. We're just going in the center and adding a deep color and then just fanning that color out to the edges. We'll do that for all of the blooms on this one. And this is the Frida Cherry ink color that I'm using for this. This is one of the picked by Paula ink colors in Lisa Horton's line of matte blending inks. I'm going to go a little more on this side too. Get that center nice and deep. And do the same thing with this one. So this one colors up nice and quick. It's a fun one to use if you don't have a lot of time. And don't really want to be doing a lot of fussing with shading and that sort of thing. This one is a really good one for that. And we'll just get a nice coat of color on this little bud. And this bud here. Maybe make that a wee bit darker. Okay, and that is going to be it for this stencil. Blend that out a little bit. Maybe not so light right there. Okay. And our little image is starting to take shape. We'll add some more leaves here. And this time I'm going to use, instead of using the Merry Mistletoe, I'm going to use the Lagoon Punch, which is a color shift ink. And the color shift will give a little bit of shimmer to the ink, or to the to the paper, not to the ink. There's already shimmer in there. So we've got just 2 different tones of ink for our greens on our leaves. Back off on some of that. I want it darker, but not too terribly dark. And we'll just do this all the way around on these leaves. And on these little buds, I'm going to get a piece of tape and I'm going to cover up this leaf because I want the base of the buds to be that cherry. So I'll grab my cherry back and we'll just put that color on these bases. Okay, and then we can take that piece of tape up and go ahead and finish our coloring. Well, here we go. And then we can keep going with our Lagoon Punch on these leaves. And this one, it goes really quick, so don't have to spend a whole bunch of time on it, which I really like that. I said I've been working on doing reels, and a quick one like this might be easy to do a reel on. So we'll see. Maybe I can use this as my testing ground. It's always fun to try new things. There's so much technology out there, my goodness, it's hard to keep up. So I just do what I can when I can and be happy with that. Hope your November is off to a great start. This is my happy time of year. Hope I got a little stem over here, so let me get another little piece of tape so I don't ink up my leaf with the brown ink. But I want to get my coffee bean and ink up this little stem that's here. Okay. Now where to do my lid? There it is. There's the lagoon and the coffee bean. And that's it for stencil number 5. Goes really quick. And stencil number 6, we're going to be putting down flower centers. And I opted to go with yellow centers for this one, just to add a little bit of variety. And of course, this is nothing close to a traditional color for a daisy, but I like the color combination, so that's the fun part of doing your stenciling. You can make it whatever colors you like. And so I'm just going to put some yellow on these flower centers. Oops, just lost a brush there. Okay, and that takes care of our flower centers, number 6. And we just have 2 more detailed stencils, and this one will be done. So we're going to put some little accents in our flower center. And then the last thing that we'll do is add some accent to the leaves. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go back with the Frida Cherry for that. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I usually use the same green, but sometimes the accents look a little nicer, I think, with a alternating color. So we're going to go over these accents with this little Frida Cherry, and it'll give it like a burnished, kind of burnished brown look with going over top of this green. So I think it'll turn out nicely. We shall see. And if I hate it, I can always do it over. That's the nice thing about ink and paper. You can always do over. Okay, so there we go. That is our daisy corner stenciling all completed. I'm going to move all these inks out of the way and my tacky mat because I'm done with that. And then the next thing I want to do is bring in the dies that coordinates with this stencil, and I'm going to die cut it. Oh, I do need my inks for one more thing, but I'll bring it back in. So then we'll die cut this. Okay. And for this one, the die is with the embossing folder. I'll just bring those out of the packaging. There we go. I like this one because it's so fast. And you've got lots of options with it. So we'll go ahead and put this down. And I'm going to stand up for this because I want to make sure that it's even all around. And when I'm sitting, I can't really see everything the way I want to. So just want to make sure every piece is going to have a little white border. So I want to try to get those as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but try and get them as close as I can. And then I'm going to run this through my embossing machine. I've got a Platinum 6 over here. And we'll just bring that over. I'm just using a regular sandwich for die cutting for this. And I'll run this through, and then I'm going to emboss this piece. I'm going to have to change my plates out. And bring in my embossing plates. I'm just using the regular adapter and shim for the embossing. But I'm going to just emboss this piece to put a little more detail onto our inked image. And all you have to do is just put your piece into the embossing folder and line it up as best you can. This one it's pretty easy to line up, I think. Sometimes that looks pretty good. Okay, so there is my image in the in the embossing folder, so I'll just run that through. And here is our embossed piece. So we have a lot more texture. You can see the texture better on the back side than the front, but it's there and it's really pretty. So what I've done in terms of homework for my background, I die cut the cover plate. This is the Octagon grid cover plate, and I've glued it to an A2 panel. So I just die cut it and popped out all of the inner pieces. So I have this, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to this panel before I add my ink. So I think I'm going to go with Merry Mistletoe and let's see, I think I'm going to go with Merry Mistletoe and Frida Cherry. And I just want to put a little bit of these colors around this panel so that it's not so dark and so stark. So I think I'll put the Frida in this corner and this corner, and using the 1-inch blending brush so I'm not getting that ink down too heavily. Just nice little spattering. And then I'll do the opposite corners with the Merry Mistletoe. It just adds a little more interest to the card, I think. And it kind of coordinates with the colors in our ink blending, so I think that'll look a little nicer. And especially if you're not one that cares for the full white background, this is a really nice option. I'm gonna clean this off a bit here. I like Lisa's inks because they're all water soluble, so you can do a lot with them. Okay, so there is our inked background piece, and we're just going to then glue this on. Actually, I'll go ahead and put this on the card front, and then I'll glue it on. So this is an A2 card base that I have here, and I'm going to just use some tape runner to mount this onto the card front. There we go. Lost a little of my tape there for a second. So you'll have to let me know in the comments. Oh, here's my sentiments too. Whether you like this with the color in the background or if you like the white. You have to let me know your preference. Okay, so we have that down, and then we'll go ahead and add our inked image, put some glue on the back of it, and add it to the front of our card base. And again, this is the Daisy Corner layering stencils and embossing folder that I used to ink up this image. And then I die cut it with the coordinating die that comes with the embossing folder. So some of Lisa's older images, the die comes with the embossing, older products, it comes with the embossing folder, and some of her newer ones, it comes with the layering stencils. So just want to put this down. I think right about there looks good. And I'll move this one over and trim on the other side. So I'll put those down. And I'll trim off this little piece off the corner. You don't have to. It would probably be in your envelope just fine, but I'll trim that off. Oh, did I miss it? I got it. Looks like I'm a little crooked there. I usually use my bigger scissors for that, but so that is the card part, and then I will add a sentiment. Now these are sentiments that I used. I think these are Spellbinder sentiments, but I just used the matte gold foil for this, and I just did a bunch of them. So these were in my stash, and I'll just see which one I can use this as a birthday card. And I do a lot more birthdays than I do anything. So I think I'm going to go with the Celebrate for this. So I'll use a little bit of foam tape behind this sentiment. Can probably get away with 2 strips, yeah, on that, and use this to mount. Try to be careful so I don't actually cut the sentiment. I've done that before. Get it all ready and then cut your sentiment up trying to add the foam to it. And I might do this little teeny part. I don't know if I could tear that apart. I'll do this little teeny piece here because it's kind of big. I don't want it to bend too much. Okay, so I got our foam tape on. And I'm done with this. Why am I picking up glue? I don't need it. Some people like to add glue on top of the foam tape, but I found that this tape, I got it from Amazon, and it sticks pretty well. I've never had a sentiment fall off or anything that I mounted using this foam tape. These little foam strips, I never had it fall off, so I'm pretty comfortable with this foam tape. This little piece. And these two, get the little backing pulled up. There we go. And then we'll just put this down. Just going to use my eyeballs to make sure it's straight. It helps having that background because it helps you stay straight. Oops. There. Okay, and so the last thing I want to do is add a few little embellishments to this, and I think I might try. I used some gold back ones for my sample, but I think I'm gonna put pearls on this one just to see how we like that. I think I've got a panel that has some of the teeny ones left. I really like Spellbinders because they give you a lot of different color sizes. Oh, maybe I don't. Huh. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's one. I thought I had one that had. So I think I'm going to use these, and I like the little babies. These little ones. So I'm going to go with these. And let's see, I'll put a couple down here. As we chase them around. And where else? I think I'll do up here. Do I do here? Yeah. No, maybe I'll do over here. Put one there. maybe I'll do a couple over here like this. I'll have 2 sets of 3. And I think that's going to be it. So that is the project for today. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you like it with the color or without the color. And I thank you so much for being here. If you would be so kind as to give me a thumbs up if you like it, or give me feedback. Either way, I'd appreciate it. And I do have a weekly blog. I blog on Wednesdays at elegantsentiments.com, as well as a Facebook page, Elegant Sentiments. So I hope that you'll join me there as well. I thank you so much for being here. If you're watching live, thank you. And for those that might watch remotely, thank you as well. I hope that you have a fantastic week and that you get some time to craft some kindness of your own and share it in the world. I thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.